and welcome to the Knitting Pastor Vlogcast. I am Heather and I am your host. I am a United Methodist pastor and I serve two congregations in rural mid-Michigan. I am coming to you from my parsonage, which is a home owned by one of my churches and located near one of them. And I live here with my two children, Abby and Philip, and our Rhodesian Ridgeback, Flint, who is being very mouthy and loud right now. So I apologize if he makes a lot of noise while I am doing this little introduction. So what this is and what you're checking out is what I call a vlogcast. It's a compilation of vlogs that kind of make up a podcast. So it's not really a podcast and it's not really a vlog. It's kind of a mashing of the two of them together. So I take video throughout the week of things that are going on in my life, in my ministry, and my knitting, and then I compile it all into one video at the end of the week. And I do this every other week. One of the things that I like to do is start off the week by showing you where my knitting progress has been, and then at the end of the week I show you where I've come throughout the week. But before I do that, I should tell you that today is Saturday, July 20th. I feel like, so this last week, the week before last, I was on vacation, which if you watch the vlog, you will have seen a video from our trip up to Michigan's Upper Peninsula. And this week has felt like I have been in a daze and in a cloud, trying to get back into the swing of things, and then some health issues with my 93-year-old grandfather. He fell and fractured his hip Monday evening. So there's just kind of been a lot that has been going on, and I just feel out of it and a little bit disconnected. This afternoon, late afternoon, early evening, is one of my churches does a ice cream social every summer, and it's homemade ice cream, and it's kind of a big deal. And so that is this afternoon. So hopefully that'll kind of like shake me back into things. I don't know. I felt kind of out of it and disconnected and out of the loop. So I'm really hoping that things kind of fall back into feeling normal again. But let me show you what knitting has been happening. So I finished the So Faded pullover that I've been working on for Abby. It is complete. Now it is not blocked. I was going to block it, but I just kind of ran out of time today. It's super sunny and hot, so it would probably dry really fast. I think I'll block it tomorrow. She's gone at her dad's all this week, so I don't really have to worry about her seeing it or anything. But it's finished. I think it turned out well. It's pink, which surprises me because she's not really into pink a whole lot. But these are the colors that she picked. This is all yarn from Molly of a Homespun House, and it is all colorways that were part of the Harry Potter Club. Except for this one. I think this was the big skein that came in her advent calendar last year. It's a mesh of merino cashmere nylon and merino and nylon. So yeah, this is her So Faded. And her birthday is in September, so I think that's when I will give it to her. Oh, this progress keeper is still on here. Better take that off before I forget about it. The progress keeper was one of the Harry Potter ones, and it's a little lollipop from Molly, and this is from Sucre Miniatures, that little lollipop. So yeah, that is finished. So hooray, I'm happy about that. Yeah, very happy about that. Then I've been working on some vanilla socks for Philip. I showed you I had one finished last time, and if I can untangle this. Oh my goodness. There we go. Here is where I am at now. I am really close to putting in the heel on these. It's just a plain vanilla sock with some yarn that I picked up from Joann Fabric. It is called Premier Serenity Sock. This colorway is Deepest Blue, I think, or something like that. Derek Water. Okay, close. And I just picked this up. It is superwash merino wool, rayon from bamboo, and nylon. So it's actually relatively light. I will say I had this really funky thing that happened with this ball. You can't tell in the fabric, but it was like really twisted funny, and it was really weird. I don't know what was going on with it, but you can't tell, and I don't think it's altered. It hasn't altered gauge or anything like that. So I'm knitting these toe up, which is different than what I usually do. Usually I do cuff down, but he wanted these to be really long, and so I was just gonna knit them as long as he wanted them and then start the cuff. And so that was kind of my plan for these, and that's why I've been doing them toe up. So like I said, I'm about to the heel on these. So that will be good. He really likes my hand knit socks. So he enjoys those, but he's 9 and he's been eating like as much food as Abby and I combined. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna hit a growth spurt at any point in time. It's just kind of out there and pending. He's gonna all of a sudden shoot up like a foot, because that's how much this kid is eating right now. So I don't know. But then I also, because I finished that, I finished my Tegna. I started a pair of socks for myself. I had picked up this skein of yarn from Baah Wool. It's the Baah Wool La Jolla. I picked this up when I was in Evanston for school, and the colorway is called Violet Martini. And I cast on a pair of monkey socks by Cookie A. And here, I'm not all that far on them, so here are my monkey socks. I will be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure how I feel about this yarn and how it is knitting up. It's very micro stripey, and I do not know how I feel about that. I'm into the pattern, so you can kind of see the pattern right there, but I don't know if this is the right pattern to do this yarn justice, because you lose the speckling effect that's going on in here. I don't know if you can see. This is the lighter section, and it's got some yellow and some green and some orange on the natural wool in there, and then it goes into this like beautiful purple. So I don't know if this is the right pattern for this. I'm not sure socks is the right thing for this. Maybe it needs to be like a single shawlette. But I bought it intending to make socks. Like this was going to be my summer, these were going to be my summer intensive socks. But I just don't know how I'm feeling. So I need to think about this a little bit. Maybe these need to go on timeout and I need to cast on something else, because I just don't know what to do about it. So I think I have rambled enough to get this vlogcast started. I am going to run off to the gym before I have to go to my ice cream social, so that's why I am dressed like this with this like funky shirt. I apologize for that. So I'm gonna go do that and head off to the ice cream social, and I will talk to you guys later. Hi guys, it's Monday now, July 22nd, and I have been struggling. So I had showed you earlier the socks that I was trying to knit with this yarn that I purchased from a local yarn shop in Evanston, Illinois when I was there for school. And I had thought that I was going to knit Cookie A's monkey socks with it, but they were really not turning out. The pattern was lost. I was not liking the way that it was knitting up. It just was not working. So I decided to frog them, and I thought, well, maybe if I did like a lacier eyelet kind of sock, that it might work. So I thought, well, I've been wanting to knit the Mercury socks, which everybody knit. Oh, I guess it's been a couple of years ago now. And they've been in my queue for forever, so I thought I'll cast those on and knit those. And of course, I ripped back to the cuff, and then I looked at the pattern and realized that the pattern calls for 60 stitches, and I always do my socks as 64 stitches. So then I had to rip the cuff out, so I re-knit the cuff, and I've knit 2 repeats of the pattern, and I think I am just forcing this yarn to be something that it's not supposed to be. it is just not, it gets lost. I am not liking the way this is knitting up as socks. The yarn I really like, but I am not necessarily liking the way that it is knitting. So, we're going to move to plan C. I looked on Ravelry for patterns that were knit with this colorway, and I found a few options. One of them was the hitchhiker. I've actually never knit a hitchhiker. So I'm considering doing that. The other one was a pattern designed by Baah wools to go with their colorways like this, called Dipped and Dappled. And they gave me that pattern when I purchased the yarn. So I have a copy of that pattern, but I'm not sure if that's the pattern that I want to use or if I want to go with the hitchhiker. I need to look at it a little more closely, but this is going to get frogged again, and it's going to be a shawlette of some kind, which is not really what I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be socks, but it is not working as socks, like at all, so I've got to do something different. So there's kind of where I am at with that one, but I'm not gonna mess with it anymore for right now because I have work to do and I have school stuff to get accomplished. But I just kind of wanted to let you know what the status was with that. It's kind of frustrating, but there we have it. So I will talk to you guys later. July 25th. I'm not even sure what day it is. It's kind of been a tough week, if I'm being honest. My grandfather fell last week and broke his hip, and he had surgery, and things have not been going very well. His kidneys have gone into kidney failure, like more than they have been. So they've sent him home to be on hospice and palliative care and to kind of live out the rest of his life. He has been on hospice for about 2.5 years now, and with kidney failure. And we've had a few scares before where we thought that this was it, but then he's kind of rallied back. So, I don't know. He came home yesterday. I drove over and visited him, and he seemed to be okay. I mean, he was awake, he was perky, he ate. He's got a little bit of aching going on in that hip that he had surgery on, which is to be expected. But he can't get up on his own right now. And so he's gone to stay at my aunt's house. He was living with my mom, but my mom physically can't. She can't get him up out of the bed or anything like that. So he's in a hospital bed at my aunt's house. So I don't really know what to expect. We thought he was going to go to rehab, but then the kidneys started to not function properly. So my week has kind of been a focal point after Tuesday, and then I went over there yesterday. So that was kind of tough. So it has not been the most thrilling of weeks. I did make the decision to frog the socks that I was trying to work on. And I spent a lot of time looking on Ravelry, trying to decide what I thought this yarn, and by this yarn, this one that I've been showing you. This is from Baah wool. It's La Jolla, and the colorway is Violet Martini. Who knows how many times I've said that at this point. Bear with me, because my brain is... I don't even know what my brain is doing. So, this is the color, pardon me, this is the colorway that I've been trying to figure out what to do with. So after spending some time on Ravelry, I was going back and forth between a pattern by Helen Stewart and one by Joji Locatelli. Both fantastic designers. I will probably knit the other one at some point because I really liked it. I can't recall what the name of that one is. It's the one by Joji that I was going to do. I decided to knit the Spindrift shawl by Helen Stewart. It's a one skein shawlette kind of pattern. And so I thought I'd show you how that is starting to knit up because I think that this is going to be okay. It's hard to show because it's stuck in it. So it's curling. So it's got like a little bit of weird pooling. Like here's a really big purple section right here. And then there's a big like speckled section right here. But it isn't anything too horrible or too bad. Like I'm okay with the way that this is knitting up at this point. It's a stockinette until it gets to the border, and then it's a really simple lace border. So it's a really simple shawl that should be pretty easy to whip up. I am disappointed. I did really want socks, but this yarn, it wasn't gonna work for socks. It just wasn't. I guess I could have tried to hold it double and done like a DK weight sock, but it's too late. I've knit this much of this shawl already. So that's what we've got going on with that, and that's what I've been working on with that. And then I'm just been doing normal work and school stuff. So, but I wanted to show you what was becoming of this yarn that has definitely been a struggle. I thought about doing a hitchhiker, but I didn't really want to deal with short rows. I know short rows are not hard, but they do require that you kind of pay attention, and I was not really wanting to do that. So there we go, stockinette all the way. All right, I am gonna go get back to reading this lovely book for class and working on my lesson plan that I have to turn in tomorrow. So I will talk to you guys later. I have been compelled to work on my granny stripe blanket this week too, and I just kind of wanted to show you how that blanket is looking. It's hard to show the whole thing because it's really long, so if I step back you can see the full length of the granny stripe. It's like as big as my couch. So I've been working on this this week. Well, the last couple of weeks, really. I don't know why, it's just really been speaking to me, and I don't know if it's because of my grandfather and him doing as poorly as he has been doing, because this makes me think of my grandma, who always crocheted. Like, that was her thing. So, it's just really been speaking to me, and so I've been working on this as well as kind of figuring out that shawl, and I think running into the issues with that skein of yarn kind of made me crave this scrappy project. But I'll show you kind of in the last 2 weeks. I was like on this pink row, was this row before this pink row. And then I started doing this when we got back from vacation. And so I've crocheted all of that in the last couple of weeks, which is several inches of blanket. So that really is quite a lot, especially considering the length of this. And the way that I do this is I just make a magic knot ball, and then it all kind of runs together, and it's a nice way to wrap up and use up all of my little scraps of things. So you'll get, blips where it's like a really short amount, like right here, this color, there's not a lot of it, but then you'll get other ones where, like this purple, where it's almost like 2 full rows, and the color above it as well. So it gives it a lot of interesting ness to it. I do try to think a little bit about where the colors are falling, but that doesn't necessarily always work because I don't want it to be super clashy. So this is the granny stripe blanket. Hi, it's Saturday now, July 27th, and I think I'm going to wrap up this blog for this week. I know it has not been the most exciting, mostly knitting stuff and not a ton of that per se, because it's been, well, really the 2 weeks since I've been back from vacation have been really kind of a little bit disorienting and a little out of the norm, and so they haven't been the easiest 2 weeks. So there really wasn't a lot to put in here content-wise, but I am going to wrap this up today, I think, and right now I'm going to have to leave in a minute. I have a parishioner who is in the hospital, so I'm going to run over and get over to the hospital this morning and see how that's going, because that's part of what this entails. My grandfather is more stable, or he's home and he is stable at the moment. I haven't talked to anybody today yet, obviously, because it's still pretty early, but I'll give my mom a call probably on the way back from the hospital and check in and just see how things are going with him. And so it's just kind of been a tough couple of weeks. So I'm saying that a lot. I'm going to just show you kind of where things are knitting wise. I'm going to start with the vanilla socks that I'm working on for Philip. I haven't necessarily done a whole lot on these this week. I don't really know why exactly, but I just finished the heel basically. So I've got the foot done and I've just finished the heel, and I did a fish lips kiss heel. And so then I'm going to go onto the leg, which is going to be quite lengthy, because if you look at, this is the other sock and this is the length of the leg that I did. So that will be quite lengthy, and I've got a lot of stockinette around and around to go. I think this is like this, and then the heel is really all that I have done this week on these socks. But that's okay. They're just there to have some mindless knitting as I'm waiting in the car, or if we go to a movie or something like that, which we have not done. Maybe we will need to do that this week or something for the kids. We'll have to see. The other thing has been just that skein of yarn that has been giving me a hard time, and I did decide to knit a Spindrift shawl by Helen Stewart, and I did pull up the pattern so I could show you kind of what that looks like. This is the Spindrift shawl right here. As I said, it's just a very basic stockinette with a lace border, nothing too complicated. And according to the pattern, because that's one of the really nice things about Helen Stewart patterns, they're very, very well written. I really recommend, especially if you're a first-time knitter, they can be super helpful. She actually breaks it down by percentage, like what percentage of the project you have complete based on stitch count. So I actually find that to be really helpful, because especially with a shawl, the first like 30 rounds seem like they go super fast, but then after that it seems like it takes forever. So I find it super helpful that she breaks it down by percentage, and it kind of helps you as a guide for how much yarn you're using, how much is left, that sort of thing. So I really highly recommend her patterns. They're very, very well done. Very well done. I can't say enough good things about them, and just laid out extremely well. So this is where I am at with the Spindrift shawl, and I apologize, it's hard because this is stockinette right now, so it's curling. So this is like the body main portion of the shawl right here, and according to the pattern, I'm about 30% done. So this is it. It's going to be a crescent shaped shawl. I think that this yarn is working okay. It's not giving me anything too crazy pooling wise, nothing too weird. There's some like blocks of solid color, like, right there is a pretty decent sized block of purple, but it's not anything that's like super annoying or doing anything super weird. A lot of it is just kind of like this. So I am fine with that, especially after the hassle with trying to figure out what this skein of yarn wanted to be. totally good with this. And was exactly what I was looking for. I'm sorry the dog is getting a drink, and he is very big and very loud, so I apologize for that. But this was just kind of what I was looking for as well. I didn't want to mess around with short rows. I really just kind of wanted something that didn't take a whole lot of thought, and this doesn't. It's especially right now with it just being stuck in it. The only place you have to pay attention is doing like the increases on the edge. That's the only place you really have to pay much attention. So that's kind of where we are at with this. And I think that's going to be it for this week. I don't really have a whole lot more to say right now, other than thank you so much for watching, for tuning in, for checking me out. I hope that you have enjoyed what you have seen. If this is your first time, thank you for watching. If it isn't, thank you for coming back. I will not be recording next week, but I will be back again with you in 2 weeks. So until then, I hope you are enjoying your summer and enjoying your knitting, and I will talk to you later. Bye.